welcome to Tuesday, February 23rd. We'll start off the County Facilities Committee meeting. First of all, can I have a motion to approve the minutes for the prior meeting? Okay. Oh, thank you, Supervisor Hogan. Do I have a second? No. Oh, thank you, Andrew, but you're not on my committee. Ben, would you like to join in on this one? No, I'm only kidding you.
Right, I'll make that motion.
Out there, it's Supervisor Bruno, Supervisor Wild, Supervisor Scheffler, and Supervisor Strauss. So can I have a motion?
I move that.
Wild, thank you for a second, Supervisor Bruno. All right, so we'll start off this morning's meeting with the fire prevention and building and codes. We have, oh, I got to call a vote, sorry. So all in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? So moved. All right, now I'll open up fire prevention and building codes. We have Charlie with us today. He's looking to notice to fulfill a vacant position that's been vacant for a while, and now he's coming into full season here after the pandemic. So I'll let Charlie take away.
Good morning, everyone. Thank you. Yeah, as was already stated, I don't really have much this morning other than to try to fill a vacant position that's been vacant since the middle of November. And it's already was approved in the budget process for last year. So I'm just looking to see if I can get a approval on filling that position at this time.
Brad, I'll make the motion.
We got a motion on the floor from Supervisor Wild. Do I have a second?
John Stroud, I'll second.
And thank you, Supervisor Stroud, on the second. So I'll call the vote. All in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Opposed? All right, so moved. For discussion item, we have the 2020 year-end reports. Charlie, you have anything you want to comment? Has everybody had a chance to review them?
You know, I just included this in case anybody had any questions, comments, concerns. You know, we were quite a bit under budget for the year in the end, so which is a good thing. And I also included year-end numbers when it came to actual permits. So I can just open that up if anybody has any questions on any of this stuff, I can try to answer your questions.
Do you have any questions? Well, looks good. Joe, I want to thank you really for a great year of reports, keeping on the budget, overlooking the building the codes numbers of reached $200,589 of permits issued. Huge one on the permits renewals, I see. So thank you for all your hard work and your team. So, Don Lehman, do we have any public comment?
Good morning, Chairman McGowan. No public comments on YouTube as of now.
Well, thank you, Don. So this will conclude the fire prevention, and we'll go right on to Kevin, airport. I start off with the airport. The airport agenda. So we have the action request authorizing a chairperson to apply for an executive FAA grant. I'll let Kevin take over on this.
Good morning, everyone. This grant is to authorize the chairperson to apply for and execute a grant with the FAA. This is money that the FAA just put out along with the Coronavirus Response and Relief Supplemental Appropriation Act of 2021. Each airport in the United States was granted a certain amount of money, and the ranges of the amount granted to each airport was based on the size of the airport. We are receiving $23,000 for our airport, and it can be used similar to what the CARES Act was, which was for salary expenses, operational expenses. So similar to the CARES Act, we will most likely put this to salaries for the airport.
Hey, is there any questions? Can we bring this motion to the floor?
Brad, it's Mike. I'll bring the motion.
Okay, we have a motion from Supervisor Wild. We got a second from Supervisor Stroud. Call vote. All in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Opposed? All right, so moved. That takes care of the action agenda. For discussion items, we have the solar land lease. So Kevin, you want to give us an update on that?
Sure. So the negotiating team has met twice so far. The first one was just to kind of go through the ratings that Don and I put together for each of the proposals. The second meeting was to try to nail down who we are going to have negotiations with and some questions that needed to be answered. So from that, the supervisors, as part of the negotiating committee, have given me a couple questions to ask of the proposers. A couple of those I was able to answer by just going through the proposals again. There are still a few unanswered questions, but I think I'm going to reach out this week and set up the interviews with each one of the teams. Actually, I believe we decided on the top 3 teams or the top 3 proposers. And I will let Supervisor Stroud or Wild add anything on that they would like.
All right,
No, Kevin, thank you. You covered it well.
All right, thank you, Supervisor Stroud. So we're all good on that. And then the other discussion item, we have reimbursement for the extra costs associated with the court ruling for Forest Enterprise.
So as most of you know, last year, the courts awarded Forest Enterprise another $193,000 for their property. I believe, and I'm not sure if Robert can talk to it or not, but I believe the bottom line is we will have to pay that. What Don and I were looking at is whether or not the FAA would reimburse us for that amount of money. Talked with FAA. I got an email last Thursday that basically said that they will only reimburse us for $19,000 of the $193,000. So they've asked me if I want to move forward with seeking that reimbursement. I do, so we'll have to go through a process of getting a supplemental agreement. But then, of course, the county will have to come up with the remainder of the amount to pay Forest Enterprises. So that's where we are at with it right now. But the FAA has come back and basically said that the only amount of money that we do receive is $19,300.
Thank you, Kevin. Now, Robert, is there anything you can add or wish to add?
I'm gonna have to take a look into it. I'm not really privy to that info myself, but I'm happy to take a look into it and report back.
I'm sorry, can't hear.
Thank you.
Brad, can't hear.
I'm happy to look into that and be able to report back to you at the point I got it. Sorry.
Did you hear that now?
I don't know if that
He doesn't have the information right now, Adam. He will look into it and he can get right back to us on that, if you wish. Is that okay? Any other questions on this?
Brad, I do.
Yes, Supervisor Well.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. I'm just curious, if we had a reserve for this, where the money's coming from, is it going to come out of our general fund? Do we have any sense of what we're doing with this? I mean, I think our budget.
Supervisor Wild, not as of yet, I don't. We do have money in an airport reserve fund. I'm not sure that it can be used for this. Again, I don't think we set anything aside because we had assumed, based on previous grants that we've had with FAA, that they would cover the cost of this. But based on a new formula or calculation they're using, we can only receive, like a certain percentage of the final contract amount for that project. And we basically have already received, because we had a supplemental agreement to this of $40,000. So at this point, we can only receive about $19,300 more. So I don't know yet, and I haven't come to that conclusion of where that money's coming from yet. I just wanted to kind of give the update for what the FAA is saying now. Now I will go back and see, if we have money in the airport reserved, and if we do, can it cover this cost?
So as a follow-up, Chairman, if you don't mind,
Sure.
is there any opportunity for us to appeal the FAA decision?
No.
This kind of happened before I joined the board, but my recollection is that this was required for us to move forward with this expansion as directed by the FAA. So now we're in a box. So again, do we have a chance to appeal?
I don't believe we do. And again, it's based on contract amounts and the calculation that they use between original contract and their final contract, and how much more money that they will appropriate the AIP fundings to the airports. I will discuss this with our FAA contact, but I believe the answer is going to be no.
Thank you, Kevin.
Any other questions? All right, thank you, Kevin, for that update. All right, there are no referrals or pending items, so Don, do we have anything for public comment?
Nothing at this time on YouTube.
All right, thank you again. All right, so happily as we move along here, we're going to jump right over to the buildings and ground agenda. The first thing on the action agenda for new business items is a request of notice of intent to fill a position, the backfill building and maintenance worker number 2. Kevin, give us a motion.
Sure. I have 3 notice of intent to fill vacant positions. The first 2 are building maintenance workers. Both of those are due to promotion. As you recall, last month I had the carpenter and a building maintenance mechanic position open. I've since backfilled with those with staff in-house, and now there's 2 positions. With those 2 advancing up, these 2 positions have opened up. So I'd like to be able to backfill these 2 positions.
I'll make the motion to, I'm sorry, Brad, can I make a motion to approve items, Roman numeral 3, Arabic numeral 1, 2, and 3 all together?
All right, we have a motion on the floor to combine 1, 2, and 3.
I'll second that.
And we have a second from Supervisor Bruno, so I'll call the vote. All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? All right, so moved. So 1, 2, and 3 are all together. Does everybody want to discuss 2 and 3, just so we're on the record here? Was the intent to fill for worker number 6? Well, you kind of said that. And then the next one is the backfill cleaner number 12. You want to just touch base on that?
I can touch base real quick on number 3. So number 3, we had a night cleaner who basically abandoned their position. We reached out to them to try to have them come back to the county more than once, and then spoke with HR, and basically they considered they abandoned their job. So they are no longer with us. We terminated, and we're moving forward to fill that position again.
Thank you, Kevin. Any questions on that? All right, let's move on to 4. New contract, a term agreement with the HVAC services. Kevin?
This is typically one of our term agreement contracts. It's for HVAC repairs, rehabilitation, and installation. This is if our staff here cannot take on a task. Time to time, we have to use these, but there's no set kind of amount of work that these individuals are going to get. The bids are out right now, so as always, we will award to the lowest responsive bidder.
Okay, are there any questions on this contract? All right, can I have a motion to bring it to the floor? Supervisor Bruno, do I have a second? Supervisor Wild? All right, I'll call a vote. All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? So moved. All right, Kevin, number 5 on the, another new contract for overhead door services.
This is, again, a term agreement, only to be used when necessary. No guaranteed amount of work for them, and it's for overhead repair, replacement, and installation. And again, it's out to bid right now, and we would award to the lowest responsive bidder.
I'll make that motion.
We're gonna make that motion, Supervisor Wild, thank you. Second,
I'll second, John Stroud.
and Supervisor Stroud, thank you in the second. I'll call the, question, all in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? So moved. All right, and the, last one is to transfer, some funds from the, full-time salary to part-time salary. Kevin?
So as most of you know, last month was our last full-time position with Frank Morehouse, but he has come back part-time to work, but I have to be able to pay him out of part-time salaries. So I'm going to transfer salaries out of regular salaries into part-time to pay Frank for the time that he's here.
Any questions?
No, I'll move it.
Thank you.
Second.
Supervisor Stroud, what was the second? Okay,
Second.
Supervisor Bruno, thank you. All in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Opposed? So moved. Discussion items, the FEMA reimbursement update. Kevin?
So last month or the previous month, I let everyone know here that our first reimbursement went into FEMA, which was approximately $47,000 for the coronavirus or for the pandemic. They approved that first one, and then since January, I think they've come back and said that everybody will be reimbursed 100%. So think of that 47,000, we were only expecting 75% of it. We just submitted yesterday. It has to go through, of course, the approval process with FEMA and the state. But we just submitted our second reimbursement yesterday for 55,000. And that was to do with what they consider congregate housing for individuals, as well as some more PPE and contract. So the second submission went in. One of the final submissions that we'll have for the FEMA reimbursement is the overtime from the sheriff's office, which is almost, I believe right now it's about $100,000.
That's some good money, so thank you. Any questions on that? All right, let's go on to our court update.
So as most of you know, the court work has started on phases 3A, 3B, and 3C. As of today, the asbestos abatement and demolition work is complete unless they find something in some of the other work that they're doing, and you never know when it comes to rehab. Over the next couple of weeks, they will be doing window installations, the metal stud framing, most of the mechanical and electrical plumbing rough ends. They have to do some brick and masonry work around the windows, and then they'll do drywall installation. Completion of 3A should be somewhere around May 21st. Phase 3B would start the chief clerk area and the support staff, and their schedule for that right now is May 31st through August 20th. And then the final phase would be the DA's area and the temporary court conversion, and that would be from August 30th to October 29th.
Thank you, Kevin. Any questions? All right, so we'll hop on to referrals and pending items. We discussion on continuation regarding the changes to the concrete area, front entrance.
This is what I've been talking about in each committee. This will not be done until the court work is done. So I'm thinking this will be late this year that we'll look at that court entrance or that front entrance. Sorry.
All right, thank you. Any questions? All right, next one is on me. Supervisor, myself, Bruno Bramer, and Kevin and Frank, discussion in that on the jail cell. I did say that I was going to move forward on this last month, and I have to say I don't even know where the month went. So But one of the questions I have for Kevin here, Kevin, how did the asbestos removal net go for the courthouse? Are we talking pretty much around the same particular items that are over in the jail?
Yeah, the asbestos for the court work was there was asbestos detected around the window, which is the sealant they use around the windows. It was also detected around pipe joints as well. In fact, we had a change order. There was a pipe that needed to be moved or relocated as part of the court project, which wasn't seen in the original design. And that's the tough part about rehabilitation work, is that you don't always see that. So they did find it on piping as well. They've also found it on top of the ceiling tiles. So it depends. You never know where they're going to find it. But again, that was where they found it through the court project, and where they handled it and took care of it in the court project. As far as the jail goes, I'm not sure. We had a report. You have to go back and look at the report. They did determine that there was some asbestos there, as well as lead-based paint throughout the jail facility.
All right, thank you, Kevin. I did review that report, and it did state really the major was the caulking, and there was some piping. I don't think we have to worry about ceiling tiles there, because it's except in the office areas, but most of that's all concrete over there. So we'll be moving forward with that. Any questions on this one? All right, so in the referral for the Economic Growth and Development Higher Education to consider approving the energy audit for the windows in the municipal center. Any update on that, Kevin?
I'll give just a quick update. So last month, Frank talked about it, and Frank, you can jump in any time, but we had tried insulating. We had an issue over in probation where they were getting the same kind of cool air, cold temperatures, lower in their offices. We have since added a kind of an experimental wall at the base next to their windows. And I actually spoke with Michelle Rodriguez yesterday in probation, and she says it's 10 times better than it ever was. So it seemed to work there, and we are proposing to do the same thing over here. So once committees are wrapping up, I think Frank and his staff will start initiating some of that work over here. It's not going to be a significant cost. Basically, it involves some insulation, some sheetrocking up to the marble top, and it'll prevent some of that cold air that's felt on this side of the room. We're also looking at replacing the blinds in their entirety on that side as well.
Thank you, Kevin. One of the things I also Kevin and I kind of looked at, especially in the boardroom right here, and we did kind of take a panel off. It is, well insulated there, but really the cold comes, really feels like it comes from the granite marble top. And as you all know, you can have 2 feet of insulation, but if you don't have enough heat, that insulation is going to just transfer the cold. And I think that just really heats up or cools off that stone enough where it gets a little drafty over there. And as you sit in the boardroom, you can actually kind of see the blinds moving. So, but no, we'll be looking into that and see if we can't get everybody a little bit more warmed up throughout the building coming in the future. It might not happen all in 1 year, but we'll move there at take the coldest spots first. So thank you. Any questions on that?
Yeah, Mr. Chairman.
Well.
Thank you. 2 questions. Have we ever taken thermal imaging pictures of this area to see exactly where the cold spots are, where it's coming from?
No, we haven't.
I might be able to have access to one of those if you're interested. And secondly, Mr. Chairman, I'm just curious, why is this being referred to economic growth and development?
That's a good question.
I can talk to that real quick. When Chris Belden was here, I believe he had talked about having a proposal with Supervisor McDevitt of reaching out to have an energy audit done by a firm. So I think it came through that committee first, and that's how it got referred to here.
I'm just curious, if we need that referral now, or if that's something that needs to be done in the future, and I see Supervisor Hogan with her hand up, so maybe she's better suited.
I believe it was part of the Climate Smart initiative. That's why it was coming through Economic Growth and Development.
Thank you.
So, if everybody feels this is urgent, is this something are we allowed to pop it on our agenda? I mean, it'll make our meeting super long today, but I'm willing to do that if you really feel this is that urgent.
I don't necessarily think it's that urgent to get this on there. I really, as I discussed, I would like to, if Mike, you have that thermal imaging, that would be great. But I really think based on what we did in the probation office, I think that will work here as well. And I'm willing to go that. It's not an expensive route to take. It's minimal cost, but it has seemed to work in the probation office. So I would like to give that a try over here.
So I'll kind of put that out. What does the committee like to do? Would you like to go on Kevin's recommendation on, trying to do it in-house and do a little thermal imaging first before we kick out more money? Yes, Supervisor Bruno.
Yeah, I like that idea. As you said, before we spend any more money, I think go down the path that Kevin has initiated here, and it sounds like it has a degree of possibility for success. So I'd like to go that route first before we spend any additional dollars. Thank you.
How's the rest of the committee feel? I got a couple nods there. All right. Well, thank you.
Supervisor McGowan?
Yes.
I'm sorry to interrupt. I know my little virtual hand is up, but it's hard to see. Is there a way to just leave it in the facilities committee so Kevin can handle this directly with Supervisor Wild and it doesn't have to be kicked over to Andrea? Is that what you guys just decided? Or Supervisor Hogan? I'm sorry, Supervisor Hogan.
Well, I think it should stay over here in facilities now that it's come over here, since we're going to be doing it, trying to do what we can in-house. So I do not want to add up Andrea's committee any more than we have to. I feel comfortable, Kevin.
I think we can do it here in facilities.
But since I'm not allowed to vote there, is the committee happy with keeping it here with us?
Aye.
Okay. Yes, Supervisor.
My only hesitation would be we need to investigate, and we'll do that quickly, whether this impacts our grant-seeking ability through the Climate Smart program. So I'll take care of that, but keep it moving that way.
All right, thank you. Yes, Supervisor Bramer.
Thank you. Thank you, Chairman McGowan. I just wanted to pop on and say we're a little bit in flux right now with Chris Belden having left. He was our Climate Smart Task Force Coordinator. So if it could be kept moving forward through DPW, that would be great. Hopefully we can figure that out and take some of that load off of you guys. Thank you.
Well, it looks like we have a nod to keep it over here and keep it. I'm for keeping it moving forward. So it looks like the committee is on the same. So is Kevin. So any other?
Supervisor McGowan?
Yes.
Just lastly, so that everyone knows, this came up yesterday again in conversation as we had long days of board meetings. And, the suggestion was maybe we could swap out the right side of the supervisors with the left side of the supervisors, so that we all took turns being in frigid temperatures over on that side. So, that's why it came up. There was a good discussion about drapes. I like the infrared idea, but however we can just solve the immediate need or sharing of that lovely temperature issue, however that happens. But someone said, why is this an immediate need? It, again, came up yesterday. We've been talking about it for years. So that's why.
No, thank you on that. I will actually talk to the other side there. I hate to give up my beautiful window view because I can see half of the outside to these gorgeous blinds we have here, but I will definitely do that. Thank you very much. Privilege 4, Don, do we have anything?
Nothing at this time, Chairman McGowan.
Thank you again. So, it looks like, that concludes, County Facilities, Committee. So, does anybody, have any more questions before I call for adjournment? Amanda, did I miss anything? All right. That's a good morning for, Chairman McGowan. Yeah, I'll take that one. Hey, so, let's,
Motion to adjourn?
call for
I'll second the motion to adjourn. John Strom.
much. Okay, I'll call the vote. All in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Opposed? So moved.